we know that 75.8% of the matriculants who sat their exams passed, but how do we know about the quality of those passes? How do we know if our matriculants who are now going into the workforce or into universities are capable and able to keep up?
So this is a very tricky question, and I'll answer in two parts. The first part is, you must remember that the matric exams have an extremely long history. We've been doing this for basically a century, for 100 years. So the institutional memory that we have in the system of what constitutes an acceptable exam is largely what we rely on. These assessment bodies like Umalusi that verify the quality of the exams, unlike the ANAs, which we've spoken about before, which have very large problems because they don't have that external body verifying the tests, the implementation of the tests, etc. We do have that with Umalusi. And that's actually one of the reasons why we found out about this cheating scandal of these 50 or so schools where they was found to be cheating. So the one is we have this external body which is meant to verify the quality of those exams. However, there is some indication that the other external bodies are calling into question the relevance of the matric exam. So you have, for example, students that apply to university have to write the national benchmarking tests, the NBTs. And we know that half of all students that wrote those NBTs, so this was, remember, that top 14% of the cohort that started out in school that made it to university, half of them were considered to be proficient in academic literacy going to university. The other half, even though they got a bachelor's pass, so a higher order pass of matric, were still considered not to be competent in academic literacy. So this calls into question the relevance of the matric exam for saying, are these students proficient enough to pass at university, or at least have a good shot of passing at university, and then also obviously the world of work. Whether or not the language proficiency of students that are taking English first additional language, for example, are they going to be competent enough to communicate, converse, read for meaning, things that we know are important in the world of work. There's a lot of questions around that exam and that curriculum, the English first additional language curriculum.